So you started using Notion to organize your work and life and realized databases are where the magic happens. But if you don't master these three features, your workspace will stay cluttered and chaotic. Hey friends, welcome back to Notionbase. Let's be real, if you've been using Notion for a while, there's a good chance that your workspace is starting to feel messy. Stuff is all over the place, things are hard to find, and your databases are just long, flat tables. But the moment you start tracking real things, your spending, workouts, your tasks, and clients, you need smarter ways to organize this data. And that's the real strength of Notion databases. So here I have a database that I use in my own templates, and we're going to start off by the first step, which is to sort the data. Sorting helps you reorder items in your database depending on their property values, like priority or when they were last updated, for example. Actually, I made a full video covering database properties in detail, so if you want to learn more about them first, you can check it out here. Now, to add a sort, you have different options. The most generic one is to open the settings menu at the top of the database, go to sort, and click add sort to choose the property you want to sort it by. So in this case, the database is already pre-sorted by date, and then you can define the direction by which you want to sort the pages. And this works differently depending on the type of property that you've chosen. So text values get sorted alphabetically, numbers of dates are sorted numerically, and for example, select and multi-select properties use a custom order. If you've got multiple sorts, you can change the order in which they are applied by dragging them using the little drag handles on the side. In this case, the one at the top will apply first. Then, if the values for two pages are the same, the next sort below will be used. The other options to add the sort are clicking the little sort icon next to the settings, or from a table view, clicking directly on the property that you want to sort the data with, and either selecting ascending or descending. If you use this option, it will remove the previous sorting and apply only the one for the property that you've chosen. So as you can see, it opens up a new window similar to the one that we've seen before, where you can add new sorts and also reorganize them if you want. And this is also where you can delete any sort that you've added previously by either clicking the small cross next to one sort or using the delete sort button to delete all of them at the same time. And that's basically all there is to sorts. Now let's go on with grouping. So grouping lets you organize your data visually by splitting different property values like status, priority, or tags to make things more clear. So again, you have different options to group your database. The main one is to go to the database settings, then under settings, click group and pick the property that you want to group by. Or the other option, just like for sorts, is to click directly the property from a table database and click group. So again, the group options depend on the type of property that you've chosen, but basically you can show or hide specific groups by toggling the little eye icon, or you can hide them or show them all at the same time. You can also sort the groups either manually or alphabetically, and if you reorganize any group manually, it will automatically change the option to manual. Finally, you can also hide all the empty groups if you want a cleaner view. Then to turn grouping off, just click remove grouping and the database will revert back to its previous status. Now, this is only part of what you can do with groups. You can also actually manage the data within the specific groups that were created. So for example, you can click the plus button next to a group name to add a page within this group. Then all the pages from the group can also be removed by clicking delete pages from the three dots next to the group name and confirming. You can also click edit groups, which will open the same group settings window that we've seen before. You can not only toggle on or off groups, but actually completely hide them from the view. And finally, just like you can calculate data for all the pages in specific groups, if you are in the table view, you can also show an aggregation of the data right next to the group name. Now, if I click on it, there's actually a lot of options, and depending on the type of property you're grouping the data with, the results will be completely different, but the results are always based only on the pages from the current group. Then, just a final quick note, in board view, the data is grouped by default, but you can actually add a subgroup to the database to group the pages in 2 dimensions, kind of, with 2 conditions at the same time. And it works exactly the same as normal groups. Okay, now let's go on to the third and final part, which is filtering. So in Notion, filters let you show only the items in your database that meet specific criteria. You can keep it super simple or actually create more complex setups depending on what you need. To add the basic filter to any database view, again, different options. From the small filter icon here, or from a specific property in a table view, or from the settings menu at the top of the database. So in the window that pops up, just go to filter, then pick the property that you want to filter by and set the condition. So again, the condition itself is based on the type of property that you chose. So you're not going to have the same options for the name or for a date property, for example. By the way, if you use a filter in a view, like I did category must contain house, then all the new pages that you add from the new page button in this view will have their property data automatically filled with the condition that you've set. So in this case, any new page would have the category set as house by default. Now, if you want to use conditional logic, you can turn your basic filters into advanced filters. So once you click on your basic filter, just go to the 3 dots in the top right corner, then choose Add to Advanced Filter. As you can see, this is also where you can delete the filter from. Then you can start adding your filter rules, for example, mixing different properties, and choosing whether they must all be true, which is the AND option, or just one has to be true, which is the OR option. You can then click on the 3 dots on the right to duplicate them to save some time if you want to create similar rules, for example. Finally, you can make your advanced filter even more advanced by adding filter groups or turning existing conditions into groups, but that's when you need really complex filtering. If your group contains only one rule, you can revert back to a simple filter, or you can wrap it into an even bigger group, but then 3 steps is the limit. So when you reach this blue window, you don't have the option to add a filter group anymore. Okay, so I'm sorry, I don't want to make it look harder than it really is. So what I'm gonna do now is remove everything we've done, start over from scratch, and show you exactly step by step how to use these features to organize your database properly. Okay, so I'm gonna stay in this pre-filled expense database, which should be a good example, but I deleted the sorting, grouping, and filtering. So I've presented you with the 3 different features in this order, because I think that's the easiest way to organize database items. You would want to sort your data first, then group it while all the pages are still visible, and finally filter only those that you need in the end. So let's start by sorting the data by date. Let's switch that to descending, then add another sort in case the dates are the same. So let's say I want the pages to be sorted by descending amount. So now the next step is to group the data by category. I can sort it manually and then select hide empty groups, because if there hasn't been any expense in a specific category, for example, we might want to see that. Another option would have been to group the pages by date. In this case, I can leave hide empty groups toggled on, change date by to month, and sort by newest first, so the new expenses appear at the top of the database, which makes more sense. Now let's toggle off the groups that are not the current month, and I can click show aggregation next to the group name. By default, it's going to count all the pages in the group, but in this case, I think it would be a good idea to sum the amount spent during the month. So just go to more options, sum, and select amount. Okay, now let's finish off with the last step, which is filtering the data. So we're going to try to do an advanced filter. So let's start with filtering by name, change this to is not empty, and then we can directly turn it to an advanced filter. Let's add a filter rule where date is not empty, so I could have duplicated the first rule as well. And now let's add a filter group where category contains food or amount is over 100. So now, as you can see, my data is sorted, grouped by date, and I've only got pages with a name, a date, and where either the category is food or the expense amount is over $100, so very specific. And that's it. I will not overcomplicate it. The goal was just to show an example of what you can do. So now I hope you understand why you need to master filters, sorts, and groups to make sure you organize your data the right way. Hey friends, I hope you got value from this video. Please like it if you did. If you want to take your Notion setup even further, head over to thenotionbase.com to find the best free and premium Notion templates in the game. And if you have any questions about Notion, drop them in the comments. I read everything and I might choose your question for a future video. And of course, if you're not already, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. Until then, keep Notioning and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.